From what society categorized as unfit for school, to a man who now owns a reputable group of schools, pushed by his passion to value the difference in every child's capability. The story of Gideon Kyalo, the founder Goodrich Schools and Now Foundation, is a practical example that indeed there are no limits to success. The Millionaire Mind tells you that story with me, Linda Alela.
My name is Gideon Kyalo, director and a founder of Goodrich Schools and Now Goodrich Foundation. Gideon Kyalo, as I said in my name, I was born back at Machakos County, Masipulia, sometimes back 1974. Now, for my life, I went in primary school, in Pula Primary School, then Changuli Secondary School, then Kenya Polytechnic. It took me 14 years in primary school, but all that, my fellow classmates were laughing at me. But all those I finished my college in that level. After that, after finishing my college, I know I was not so able to perform very well, and also I get an attachment with one of the companies called Africa Tours and Hotels, Miliman Hotel, where I was employed as a sales rep. And particular levels, if you are not performing very well academically, you are considered as if you are not worthy. But at Miliman Hotel, I worked there for some time. But unfortunately, the company collapsed, and I was employed by Isco Kenya Limited, whereby, after being employed as a cleaner at a salary of 3,900, which was my salary, I started saving those money at a post bank so that I can achieve my dream, which was to start a school. I struggled to save money bit by bit. And also I will stay in Kibila, so that I can be able to say it. My house was about 300 shillings, and I was trying to save part of money because of I can achieve my dream. Of which, after that, I managed to start a kiosk at a railway station, whereby I was working at night in my company, which was in Italy. And after joining that company, during that time, I opened that kiosk in railway station, whereby I was selling tea at 5 bob and mandazi at 5 bob, among other small foods at the cheap rate, so that I can look for capital. Then, which I succeeded, and I started a daycare center, which I called like Mother's Home, in a condemned house at Kileleshwa, whereby I was located by Kenya Railways because of connection there, and I started my daycare center. And this daycare center, it grew up, and the demand was too high. Until now, I have many children. During this time, all my parents, among my clients, they never knew who I was, because I did not try to tell them my identity, simply because I knew I would lose my market and my goal. I'm not going to achieve it. In good luck, after 1 year or so, I also opened my branch in Kileleshwa, in Embakasi, in Maladaima, which I also called Goodrich School, and also transformed the Goodrich Daycare Center now to Goodrich Kindergarten, and it grew up to numbers.
All right, it's time for Business Niche, and I don't want to call you Mr. Gideon, because technically in the society, the moment you own a school, you're called Mwalimu. So allow me to call you Mwalimu, right? Yeah. Because we're learning so much, and I think that was a great introduction that has, taken us, or maybe transitioned us to what would be, the next interview process that people will learn from in matters business. And in your very own words, it's a classic example of, transition, of a clear indication that, failure in academics does not guarantee failure in life. And we're grateful for the fact that you've come. So the biggest question I would ask today is, what is your greatest achievement? I saw you got some, outstanding, award, that is across the globe, which is something that should be commendable. I think you can tell us something briefly about that and how the experience was and how you felt, at that particular time.
My greatest achievement is, the key is, I achieved the goal of starting a school as I become an example and I'm to challenge the teachers who tortured me during my education time. And this has enables me to go to globally recognized as one of the person who has achieved in education.
That's good. And what about the global award that you at least were nominated for?
Yeah, the global award which I was nominated and also which I won in Dubai last year was because of the change, the impact I've done in the society about education.
All right. And now that you have already taken us through the story of how what motivated you to start off a kindergarten, and of course the market at that particular time, the kind of demand that was there, just looking around and imagining there are very many schools that have been started by scholars, people who've gone to the level of campus. How was it like? And just how easy was the market for you at that particular time?
The market was not that good. But one thing I should say, even up to now, if you want to do something, you have to get the specialist people who know what they are doing also. Yeah. I'm the man who utilizes the people to achieve what I want to achieve. I employed the best teachers and the best people who know what they're doing and they're able to turn up the market for me. It's not me, because currently I could not be able to speak the fluent English as compared to now. Actually, to the people I employed, they are fully qualified teachers, and even now I have employed who have masters, who have degrees, and they are doing this job. Not me who are doing it. Mine is to tell them my dream, and they pick it up from there.
All right, you mentioned something to do with parents, which is very, very interesting. So what gave the parents the confidence to enroll in your school? Probably you have shared your story and they say, okay, we're still going to go ahead and enroll in this school, and we believe that our children can perform in that.
Linda, I want to tell you something. The parents, they are not learning school because of me. They have got the quality they are getting. For the last 3 years, we have done KCP.
Right.
My school have been ranked 84 out of all the school in Kenya.
Right.
And the performance in average have been 390, 384, 382 in the whole country. The school have been performing extremely well. I've taken my children to national schools, so they could see, and also the one come here, they see the quality and the culture in the school, and they say, yes, this is what we need. Yes.
All right, very important. You mentioned something to do with support system. Apart from the people that you work with, as outside, just having the people around you to believe in what you're doing, to starting up a school, probably your wife, maybe family and all that. How was it like, and what is the importance of getting this support system from the people who matter to you?
What I like about support from the people is when they trust and they see you are courageous to what you are doing. When I wanted to start my first business kiosk, I ended argument with my dad, who was not one for it, but I stood my words. And he told me, my son, I don't listen to you, I'm final. And you're not going to do this. I want you to become a pastor. I want you to become a teacher. You want you to employ. And he had to look for those jobs for me. But I told him, I need to do a business. And the business I'm going to do is enter with a business. And that's why he also turned down and started supporting me. I have so many friends, because that time I had no capital, but they supported me in material. I ended up one of the Muindi who helped me with so many timber, something to start my kiosk and even the school. And now he's proud because I help him up to date because of his age.
Wow. Okay, it's something that is very important before we even cross to the technical aspect of it. You say that, you have this, very few business people will tell you that they sort of think at some point in time that their business can go down. Many of them will tell you this will stand for the rest of time, even when in reality they see that there are possibilities that this would fall down. So, what would be your advice to any person who's in business and, just keeping them to, at par to remember that, at some point your business can go down? How well would you be ready or braced to deal with such a situation?
One thing, life is about ups and downs, and also the same applies to the business. When the business you see is go down, you have to think to look to come with a new system, a new method. I think you have seen this most established business, whereby the owners they change their appearance, They start and new market strategies.
Yes.
And those are the ones I did. Immediately when I saw my business has collapsed, the first thing is that after marrying my wife is to start looking at other people with different techniques. I started distributing brochures on Alva, still campaigning.
All right, speaking of which, we'd want to know what is this special thing that you're doing for that child who probably would have been in the same situation that you were in back then?
I can assure you, one thing my parents like to me is that we don't reward the best child academically. We reward the most improved child. Because I can give an example. A Probox and a Mercedes, they are not the same. Each have different engine. God created us with the different kinds of minds. So when I say the two cars, they are in the same speed, it's not possible. So you and me, we are different. So we will reward the most improved child. We also look at the child with a different talent. Like now in God all over the school, we have your music center, we have skating, we have swimmers, we have all types of the children. And also we train the other children who we get them to to talk or to confidence. How can you present yourselves? Dressing code, such a things. Simply because all these are different people. We have a big art room, and with a special art room, whereby we train people about drawing and other things. So in the key is that when we reward the most improved child, even if you are number last, you are 100, and then we improve with 30 marks, and the number one improve with the 2 marks, the last child we reward that one. We don't reward the one who has improved because generally that's a genius child.
Interesting story right there. I'm sure you must have picked so much from this. A clear indication that sometimes greatness is all in your mind. You need to focus and you will definitely achieve what you want. Doesn't really matter the limitations that are right in front of you. You can always surpass them and make the best of life. We cross over to colleague talk and then we'll come back with Money Matters. And on colleague talk, kindly introduce yourself to us, sir.
My name is Joseph Thuku, the principal of Goodrich Schools.
So how long have you been working with Goodrich?
I joined this institution in February of this year.
Wow.
So essentially I've been here for about 4 months. And in those 4 months we have done great things together.
That's good.
Yes.
Of course, my next question would be, what is the working environment here in comparison to the other entities that you've worked with?
Well, this is an institution of learning. And basically our day is full with activities. We have a sizable population of this school. The school is quite large, and so our plate is always full. But it is interesting, very exciting, and very fulfilling at the end of the day.
So how is it how is it like working under the leadership of Mr. Kyalo or Mr. Kyalo?
Working with Mr. Kyalo is a completely new experience. Mr. Kyalo is one man full of determination, one man who is full of energy, and of course he guides us very well, he mentors very well, he is quite understanding, and he's a go-getter. So with Mr. Kyalo, we have been able ourselves to grow professionally because his vision is great. But above all, our director, Mr. Kyalo, is a man who understands his employees and also has a passion for what we do, which is to provide education opportunities for many children of this nation.
Great one right there. And so far, lessons, I know 4 months is pretty a short period, but then again, at least there are lessons that you could have picked that would make you want to be here or in this entity tomorrow and the day after tomorrow.
Well, the most fulfilling part is that at the end of the day, one has to retire having taken into account what you have accomplished for the day. A day never comes to an end until you have accomplished what you had set to do. And so for us, that is sometimes a challenge, looking at sometimes the activities we have to go through every day. But the whole setup is what brings out the fulfillment and the enjoyment of what you have done.
All right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
That was great.
Thank you.
All right.
You're most welcome.
And lastly, we would not go without knowing your future plans for the entity. What is it that you're doing special for the needy and the society at large, and most probably your thrive factor. What keeps you waking up the next day, knowing that tomorrow this is what this is going to be for the society or for the country at large.
Thank you, Linda. One thing I want to say about the society. Currently, I've sponsored several children, not in Goodrich, but also in other institutions, different secondary schools, who are helping them. And the children I'm helping, they are not the best academic. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking how that child, him or herself, can jump and change my life the way I did. We don't need the other people from outside the country to reward our teachers.
True.
No, it's we first. We should motivate them and show them the way forward. That one comes from the teachers who changed my life, and who also I'm also organizing launch of my foundation, which are trying to look the companies to measure together, so that these companies will come and reward the teacher who changed my life before I change others. The second model which I'm coming up is about entrepreneurship. As I told you, Lina, I started my business by selling mandas at 5 bob.
Yes.
Somebody called Minor, who found me because I never knew what I was doing. He showed me the way how to calculate my profit. And from the mandas of 5 bob, can you imagine owning such a big investment? Is because of how I was sure to do the business. Many slow learners in this country and small entrepreneurs, SMEs, they don't know how to calculate their profit.
Right.
They mix their profits with their family affairs. And this one now, I started a program where I'm going and go to all the county in a market and organize a seminar to train these people how to calculate their profit, how to do their business, how to know the first stock, how to make the profit out of it. And when I train this one, the person who is doing very well by keeping the records and calculating his profit and banking and supporting the government, we are going to rewarding such a client with this a certain market. And this one we are aiming to do is across the nation. And I know many children, many people, they are going to change the mentality of entrepreneurship.
Well, good move towards appreciating the people who are outstanding. I remember the word that was given to Peter Tabichi. That's a great move. Still on matters of money, what would be the best move in terms of money, calculation, calculating the papers and all that when you want to start up a school? Because there are very many people who have this dream and they would want to know, setting up a property, purchasing the property, acquiring land for a school, like how hectic it can be or how easy it can be.
Okay. As for starting the school, I'm in business. Me for start the school, I think was the easier things for me. One, to start a school does not need for you to invest a lot. This one is just to lend out the building. You start paying the rent. Secondly, what you need is the materials, it's the chairs and the other things, and you employ the right teachers. When I started the school, I said that I was allocated a condemned house landed in Kileleshwa, whereby the company Kenya Railways, they let me out, and I just renovated the house, and I just bought the chairs, and also after they bought the chairs and all other things, I got the qualified teachers who would collect the place, and the business was saying. After that, I'm going to the Ministry of Education, who assessed the building, and they give me the license. Actually, for you to start a license, the school is after you started, so that you can able to see the capacity. And the school kicked off, and the other things it follows to get the city council license and other things. So it was not as ethic as other businesses. So what is the important is that do you all have the right kind of the staff to start to deal with the children, because children are very sensitive. Very sensitive.
How expensive can this process be generally, or it depends with the kind of entity, how small, how big you want to start it?
Now, what I know about is not expensive because it depends on with their target. Because our children, they don't come at the same time at once. What it needs is that the size of the land of the building, and now from there the children, they come slowly. The way they are coming, the more you are expanding. Look, the people who have the channels of the chain of the school, it starts with one class. When you have one class, 2 teachers, you are kick off. The other they come, you are expanding. It's not like as whereby you put the stock. You say, I need 100 children. Are these children because they are coming? No. This is whereby it's grow slowly by slowly. And then you find that, like now I have more than 70 classes but I started with 2 classes.
Right. So that
Yes.
means more enrollment, more money.
More enrollments, more money, and more employment, because you employ depending on the numbers.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So, what then would be the balance on matters paper towards, first of all, the question of dealing with the people you've employed in terms of payment and all that, and just balancing the money at large so that you're successful in every bid of ensuring that the school is stable.
The issue of the balance about the money passes other operations of the business.
Yes.
The money which you shall get as a business person, as a employee in the schools, is that we have to calculate to see the type of the food, because the good thing of the schools is, one, you know the type, the quality of the food you are going to serve, so you are sure of that. You know that salary is constant. You also know other utilities are constant, so you are not sure of lashing. As I said earlier, because you have a particular number, you are able to calculate and know this is the number I'm using, and able to know the profit you are going to get by the end up. We also do what they call projection in expenses. You know, if I have a number of 200 children, I can project. I know this is the expense I'm going to occur within a particular time, so this is how much I go to use. So even if you are taking loan, you take a loan depending on the number of the children you have and which you are able to pay.
What informs the formation of the fee structure? I'm sure this is a question very many parents would ask, because sometimes you'd go to this school and this school, you find that they offer the very same services, the very same, that you would get in terms of education, but probably one school is much more expensive in terms of school fees in comparison to the other.
Especially when you start the school, as I said to my side, there are several things I usually have considered. One is my competitor. Right. My competitor, how much is he charging? Secondly, you also talk about the facilities you have. In the school, I have my facility better than my neighbor's one. It might be cheap, but my facilities are better off. Also, you look at the class of segmentation of the kind of the customers you have. Like across in Bakassi, you know this is the type of the people. You compare how much is this client they are paying the rent. You also look at those levels. When you look at other schools which are very, very expensive, also you look how is your school known. Well, me and I started my school. I started with 8,000 shillings per child, and currently I'm talking about 40,000 per child, and that one is 8 years ago. So it shows that I started putting equipment. I also started banking. The name as God is known. Sometimes you find that we as a school, we are doing better even the other schools which are very expensive, but because of what? They believe in a brand. Right. The parents, they believe that this is a brand, and then that person is selling a brand. I know that. You compare yourself with your organization and like citizen organization, they might be selling brand. You might be doing better until your name has gone up. Then you are able to charge as much as you want.
All right. Lastly, on financial care and money discipline generally, what would be your biggest advice to anyone out there who is running a business?
For anybody who is running a business, my advice is one. As an individual, I advise each person to be disciplined. Money is very sensitive thing, can lure you up or can take you far. But you have also to be a person who disciplined and control. And look, you have a discipline where you know where you are going. When I talk in a business, is do you know what you are doing? Do you know what you are doing yourself? Do you know your products? I also advise clearly the people who are in businesses to know that it's good to know how to calculate the profit at the end of the day. And I can assure, at the end of the day, I should know how much I'm getting, especially in my kiosk. I went to Mr. Maina, who trained me. He could tell me, at the end of the day, this is the profit you are getting. And when I started the business, I never knew all those things. But when he trained me, I started getting money. And then that's the money I've got, I distributed to know how much is for my salary, how much is for this and this and this and this. So by the end of the month, I know my net. And that net, I use it to calculate how I can get the loan, how I can get invest, and that's where I've reached. So it's good to know how to calculate the profit, and also you be disciplined, so that you cannot end up in the long directions like getting drunk or doing the long business. You also, it's good to aim in a particular goal, so that you don't get money, then you last buy the good cars. You should live within your income as an entrepreneur. Yes.
All right, a crucial point right there. You should live within your budget, because then again, all this flashy life will always bring itself at that particular time when you take care of the money. So thank you so much. We cross over to Matters Quick Fire. We get to know you a bit personal.
A success is a improvement from certain level to another level within a particular line you are doing. Happiness is defined in a manner whereby you are satisfied of what you are doing. You are enjoying what you are doing, what you intended to do within a particular time. It's food. You cannot live without food. Yes, I can say that, because you have to eat for you to live. I'm a leader, because I have to show people what to do so that they can follow me. I don't want to follow others. I smile because of the satisfaction I have. Yes, you cannot smile when you're angry. What impresses me is my achievement. What I've achieved is impressing me because I'm the one who have done it. Especially when I challenge the people who have academically gone beyond me, and I challenge them, I feel good. 2 years ago, I was constructing the new block building there. Yeah, that's why it took me at least almost 1 year and a half. I was constructing under constructions. I feel sad when I'm not able to achieve what I'm supposed to achieve. When I'm under pain, I feel sad because I can see when something I'm supposed to achieve, I'm trying to fight for, I'm not achieving. Currently, I'm learning public speaking, which I'm taking the classes so that I can know how to speak, because I'm also training myself the English to speak, because that's a big challenge. I'm not able to talk to my parents, but now I'm training how to talk. Let Ebru. Oh gosh, that one, eh? Let Ebru. I think I'll choose. I won't choose later. I will choose Bru.
Wow, thank you so much, Mwalimu, for that great story of your journey to success. And I'm sure the sky is the limit. You're still headed there.
Thank you very much for coming, Linda, and your team. I really appreciate, and for the good thing the company we have today. Yes. All
right, thank you so much. As the wise man would say, or as generally it would be said, if there are no records, then it never happened. And moving around Goodrich schools, a great story. Now Goodrich Foundation, we can see trophies to show, we can see photos to show that indeed great things have happened right there in this entity, and they continue to happen. And equally, a great lesson for you out there who would want to venture into Matters business. You should not have any limits to it, because then again, the sky is always the limit, and it is all in the mind. Remember, greatness, success is all in the mind. You focus, nothing should buy you from attaining what you want. My name is Linda Alela. It was great having you right here on the Millionaire's Mind. We see you again some other time.